As the human toll in the war in Gaza and the Holy Land breaches over 6,000 and the Ukraine-Russia battle sees no end in sight. Tensions in the West Philippine Sea are getting more dicey and trickier with the latest encounter between intruding Chinese forces and the Philippine Coast Guard. More than enough reason for the president to call on his national security team for an immediate and highly important huddle that our Kenneth Paciente hashes over in this report.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. immediately called for a command conference after the China Coast Guard vessel collided with the Philippine Marine vessels during the latest rotational and resupply mission in the Ayungin Shoal yesterday. According to Defense Secretary Gilbert Teodoro Jr., the government will not ignore and let this aggressive action by China slide, as this is clearly a violation of international law, a reason for the country to file an international protest.
China has no legal right or authority to conduct law enforcement operations in our territorial waters and in our exclusive economic zone. We are taking this incident seriously at the highest levels of government.
Following this, the Philippines immediately formally called on officials of the Chinese embassy to condemn the incident.
Chinese Ambassador Huang Xilian has been summoned today by Secretary Enrique Manalo of the Department of Foreign Affairs to condemn the reckless and illegal act of the Chinese government. Likewise, Philippine Ambassador to China, Jaime Flor Cruz, has been instructed to convey the same to the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The Philippine Coast Guard will also conduct an investigation on the incident and submit its report to the President in 5 days.
We will focus on determining the extent of damage or damages done or incurred by the vessels involved. But at this point, it is very, very clear that the two incidents are violations of collision regulations, the very regulation we Coast Guards are expected to enforce. So we find it unfortunate or ironic that a fellow Coast Guard will violate the law.
The DND also said it appears to be sarcastic that China had a discussion on the WPS Code of Conduct 1 day after the incident, in which they obviously violated international law as well as the jurisdiction of the Philippine territory.
What kind of message is this signaling? I want to know. And we deserve undistorted answers, the truth, from the government of China. Because once again, we repeat, they have neither jurisdiction nor authority to conduct any sort of governmental operations within our 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. And no justification they can give will stand the test of credence.
Meanwhile, the National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea said the Philippines will not be deterred by China's aggressive actions and will continue to insist its rights in the region.
That is a clear and unequivocal message being sent by the Philippines to China that we do not, accept what is happening.
The usual group of countries again expressed support for the Philippines following the incident. In the statement issued by the U.S. State Department, it said that China violated international law with its action against the Philippines' legitimate operations in the region. They also insist it is possible to activate the Mutual Defense Treaty when an armed attack is unleashed against the Philippines. But the Philippine Foreign Affairs says the government needs to study whether it is time to declare and activate the MDT against China. Aside from the US, Canada, the Netherlands, Australia, Japan, and the European Union have also expressed support for the Philippines, a thing the government is grateful for. Kenneth Paciente for The Nation.